Hello guys! Welcome back to Patrones Mujer. I'll be sharing with you a tutorial on how to make this overall. You can find this pattern on the magazine Patrones Infantiles number 16, and we have other patterns in the magazine. Having said that, let's get started. We'll take pen and paper to write down the materials. Once we have the pattern tracing from the magazine, we'll cut along the same line that we'll make. These are finished patterns, which means they have 1 centimeter seam, hems, and cut with notches and relays. Okay, let's check the pieces. These are the pieces from the back. We've used the bottom type of the center back. These are the pieces from the front. These are the bias, and we press in half. And this is the ruffle piece, and the pieces from the cross length, and the pockets, and the lines. We're going to start gathering the pieces, the front and back. Then we're going to make the ruffle piece. We're going to make the hem of the piece and fold the sides, and we're going to pass a stitch on it. And then we're going to gather the piece. We fold 1/2 centimeter, and we fold another one, and we pass a stitch on it. Also on the other side. Now we need to make the hem of this piece, so we fold a little bit, and we fold another one, and we pass a stitch to all along on the piece. Then we have to press with the iron. Now we need to gather the piece, so we pass a stitch to all along on the piece, and parallel to the first one we pass another one, and then we pull the thread from the spool for get together. Now we need to gather the pieces. This is one of the pieces of the back. We have to pass a stitch until the notch, and we pass another one, and then we pull the thread from the spool for get together. This is the front piece. We need to gather the piece, so we pass a stitch to all along, and parallel to the first one we pass another one, and then we pull the thread from the spool for get together. We continue with the pieces of the top of the overall. We face the right, and we're going to close on the shoulders. Then we're going to place the ruffle piece around on the cut of the front. And we're going to place the piece of the front. These are the shoulders. We face the right and we sew on the shoulders. Place the ruffle piece and pass a stitch all around on the cut of the front. And remember to facing up the ruffle piece because we don't want to get the foot entangled. We place the piece of the front, we face the right and we start to sew with the piece, but you have to be careful because it's curved, so it's a little bit complicated to sew the piece. Now we need to join the pieces of the top and the bottom of the front and back. So we face the right, we match the center front and we pin it. We have to spread the gather. Also with the back pieces, we match the sides and we spread the gather. Then we're going to close the sides. Start the pieces from the front, we face the right and we match the sides and the center front and we sew them. Remember to facing up the gather because we don't want to get the foot entangled. These are the pieces from the back. We match the sides and the center back and we sew them. Close the sides, match the cut of the top part. Close the other side, match the cut and sew them. Continue with the lining and we're going to sew the piece of the front. So also we face the right and we're going to sew them all around. Then we face the right of the front and back and we're going to sew on the shoulders. Face the right and sew them on the shoulders. This is the other piece. We face the right and we start sewing all around. You have to be careful with this piece because it's curved, so it's a little bit difficult to sew them. We need to gather the pieces, so we pass a stitch and parallel to the first one we pass another one and we pull the thread from the spool for get together. Face the rights of the front pieces, match the sides and the center front, and pin it. Also with the back pieces, we have to match the sides and we pin it. And then we're going to join the lining with the main fabric by the all around on the length and the neckline. We have to match the shoulders and the center front. We sew the pieces of the back and remember to facing up the gather. These are the pieces from the front. We face the rights and we sew them. Sew the sides and remember to match the cut. And match the other side, match the cut and sew them. Now we need to join the lining with the main fabric. We start around on the length. This is the side and we match the sides and we continue to all around. Cut the excess of the fabric. You have to cut a ½ centimeter. Open the lining and the main fabric and pull the seams to the lining and pass a stitch on the lining. Now we need to pass a stitch around on the leg because we need to introduce the elastic through this gap. So it's like 1 centimeter and we introduce the elastic. Pass a stitch for hold the elastic and the other side. You have to make the same process as we made for this one on the other leg. Now we need to join the top of the overall. So this is the neckline. We start from the center back and match the shoulders and continue to all around. Cut the excess of the fabric. Snip the curves and the corners. Open the lining and the main fabric and pull the seams to the lining and pass a stitch on the lining. Then we press with the iron. Now we're going to close the center back of the main fabric and then the lining. Then we're going to hold the lining with the main fabric by passing a stitch on the bottom tape of the back and also all around on the armhole. We're going to place the pieces of the crochet leg. And the bias around on the armhole. We start closing the center back of the bottom of the overall until the notch, and we snip the corner and also with the lining. You have to close the center back of the bottom of the overall. We turn the piece and we need to join the crochet length piece with the overall. So we face the right of the piece and we sew them, we cut the excess of the fabric, then we fold in half and we pass a stitch on the side and the other side. Cut the corners, turn the piece. Pull the corners. And now place the centimeter inside of the piece. And we're going to pass a stitch all around on the piece. Repeat the same process as we made for the other side. Now we need to join the armhole, and we pass a stitch all around on the armhole. Place the bias, pass a stitch on the bias all around on the armhole. Cut the excess of the fabric around on the armhole. Snip the curves. Fold the bias and pass a stitch on the edge. And pull the bias inside of the garment and pass a stitch on the other edge for close the bias. Repeat the same process as we made for this one on the other armhole. Now we're going to make the bottom tape of the back. We need to fold the bottom tape, and we overlock the lining with the main fabric also. Fold and pass a stitch like a 1.5 centimeter, and also with the other side. Cut the corners and a little bit of fabric there. And also with the other side, we fold and we pass a stitch like a 1.5 centimeter. Cut the corner and a little bit of fabric, turn the piece, and with the help of the scissors we pull the corner. Now we match the bottom tape and we're going to pass a stitch on the bottom of the bottom tape. because we need to hold this little piece there. And we have finished our overall. We place the lace on the front and we place the buttons on the crochet length and the center back, and we made the buttons hold. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tutorials. And remember, you will find the magazine in Amazon as Patrones Mujer. Thank you guys for watching the video.